go over a comment I got in the last video that I thought was pretty good. Unsubscribed, seriously. Encouraging people to hit creators' bottom line is the reason small creators who make great content are busting their ass for less and less. Some call it quits, it's just not worth the effort. You know as well as I do, it's only a small fraction of people that actually make money off of Patreon and donations, and you're suggesting something from the luxury of having 1 million subscribers, knowing that it's going to hurt the smaller creators. I'm out of here. I'm paraphrasing because I'm reading the comment from memory, because if I read the comment while I'm driving, I will smash into the car in front of me, and that would be really stupid. But you can check it out. It's a comment to the pinned comment, and it's actually a good point that he brought up, and I think it's a point that is worth discussing. So the first thing I want to do is I want to dig into what it is that I was saying with the videos that I've done on Adblock. There's about 3 or 4 videos on Adblock on this channel, and the 2 that I was linking to in my most recent video is A, is Adblock piracy, and B, why you should not feel bad for blocking ads on YouTube. YouTube system sucks. And in those videos, I had a very clear thesis. A, don't feel bad for blocking ads. B, if you have received value from a content creator, that it would be fair to live in a value for value society whereby if you received value from their content, you should pay them for it. Even if it's 50 cents, $1, whatever it is. And what I went over in these videos is that CPM-wise, if you watch my content for a whole year with Adblock off, I am not going to do as well as I would if you donated to me $1. If you give me a single dollar, I am doing better than I would if you watched my content with Adblock turned off for a year. Mid-roll ads, beginning ads, end ads, you could watch all of those ads. I am still better off if you gave me $1. So for instance, with Destiny, like I watch his content, I watch it with Adblock on. I know I watch it with Adblock on. The other day I gave him a $5 super chat. A few months ago I gave him a $5 super chat. And before that I think it was like $2 or $5. I've given him $15 in the past year. That $15 that I gave to Destiny over the past 6 months is more money than what Destiny would have made off of me if I had Adblock turned off for the next 10 years. And I clicked his video every single day for the next 10 years. I do not believe in Adblock as an island. I believe in Adblock as a tool. However, this should not change the fact that I still believe in a value for value model for what it is that people do. With my business, I give away information on how to fix motherboards for free. There were a lot of people back in the day that had classes. Pay me to take my class, pay me for my tutoring, pay me for my program. I had a one-on-one program, but I also gave away 100% of the information that was in any program that I created for free. On YouTube, on repair.wiki, on forums, everything is up there and everything is 100% free. I put value into the world, and I believe that that value will come back to me if it actually did provide people with value. I don't know how it's going to come back to me. Maybe it'll be a super chat. Maybe it'll be YouTube subscribers. Maybe it'll be increased business for my business. I don't know what it is, but my mindset has always been value for value. So if I'm watching somebody and their content has enriched my life, if it has improved my relationships, if it has helped me in my ability to fix boards, or just entertain me when I am down, it doesn't matter whether Adblock is on, and it doesn't matter whether they're asking me to pay. I want to provide them value. I will provide them value. I will give them... Sorry, I use AT&T and they suck. Now, if you look in the comment section of those videos, you'll notice that many people were mad at me. Many people were saying things like, Lewis, I used to watch your stuff, but I'm unsubscribing. You're trying to guilt us into giving you money. I said, this has nothing to do with your guilt or your feeling bad. If you feel bad because you watch this video, that's on you. I'm not asking you to feel bad. What I'm saying is that in my personal life, if something has been valuable to me and actually helped me in some way, shape, or form, I will try to provide that value back to them. Because that is the fair thing to do in our modern society, where people feed themselves, where people pay for indoor living off of money. So I will trade in that currency. Now, the people that say, Lewis, even if your content was valuable, not like I watch your content and I think it sucks, so I don't pay you. I mean, like people that think this content changed their lives. My repair business used to make me $40,000 a year, and now I make $90,000 a year because I watched your repair videos back in the day, and I learned how to do something that I didn't know how to do before. If those people say, fuck you for saying you should trade value for value, I don't give a fuck what you think of it. If you've watched my stuff for 5 years and you think it is trash and it's not worth $1, that's fine. I have no problem with you holding that opinion. I'm just not going to care what you think. Why do I say this? Because this goes to the primary misconception that I believe this gentleman has. His misconception is that in the early days, people will not want to give you money. That I'm saying what I'm saying about using Adblock from the luxury of 1.8 million subscribers, while these small people get screwed. It's the exact opposite. When you have 1.8 million subscribers, people assume that you are already rich. They assume that you're wealthy. They assume that, like when people see I have 6 employees and my business has over 1,000 5-star Google reviews and I have 1.8 million subscribers, even if I did provide them value, even if my content actually did help them in some way, this guy makes enough money. He doesn't need my fucking dollar. Fuck him. And point taken. When you are a small content creator, that is when you're going to see people want to help you. When you have 100 subscribers and you're working out of your house and you have a 360p potato camera, that is when you are going to see people wanting to donate to you, volunteering to donate to you. And in the early days, I had this video, which I want to punch the 26-year-old snotty fuck in that video now as a 34-year-old. But in 2016, I had a video titled, Why I Don't Have a Patreon, Pay Me in Success, Not Money. And if I'm being honest with myself, if I'm being honest right now as a 34-year-old about what my 26-year-old self was saying, what my 26-year-old self was saying is, I'm ashamed to ask because I'm afraid of those people that are going to call me a leech or an e-beggar or this, that, or the other. I let people get inside my head. These people that think that my content is worthless, for some reason, I allow people who believe that I am worthless to get in my head and affect what I think about my actual content creation and business model, which is silly. Why should I care what somebody thinks if that person literally believes that I am worthless? It is so stupid. Back then, I did not have a way to donate. So here's how I got Patreon set up. Here's when I first turned on donations, Streamlabs, the super chat, all that shit. I remember going to renew a domain name. It wasn't even my main domain name. It was a vanity domain name that I had. And in this vanity domain name's email inbox, it was a throwaway email that I used to not use. I log into the email and I see that in this throwaway email inbox, there is a donation for approximately $300. Back when I first started turning on monetization in February or January of 2015, even though I had been on YouTube for 3 years, I was making about $50 a month. 50 bucks a month, 2015. Professional business owner, providing content that shows people how to fix their own shit, 50 bucks a month. When I was 16 years old, I was worthless. I didn't know jack shit. I was a 16-year-old kid in high school. I was making $400 a month, working for $6 an hour at Model Sporting Goods. And here I'm making almost 1/10 that as an adult. $50 a month is literally nothing. But I didn't turn on donations or anything else because those people were in my head. They were taking up space in my head that didn't belong to be there. People that said shit like, if you do this, you are an e-beggar, blah, 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 you piece of garbage. That got to me. So I didn't have it on. Now, the reason I turned it on is once I realized people are literally trying to force feed me money. I have an email address. Somebody did a who is on my vanity website to find my email address so that they could send me money via PayPal or Venmo or some other shit. For some, I didn't even have an account. So this person sent me $300, even used, and got it. So that's when I turned on donations. I didn't turn on donations in the early days because I thought, like this gentleman, that if you're a small content creator, there's no point to. But more importantly, I didn't turn on donations because I let those fucks get in my head. This is a giant misconception. When you first start out your channel, you will make massively more money in donations than you will from ad revenue. My channel was 3 years old at the time. My channel was 3 years old, and I was making $50 a month off of it. That is 1/10 what you will make at a minimum wage job in 2005. Donations will make you massively more money in the beginning than they will later for a number of reasons. Firstly, at the beginning early stages, when you're making $20 or $10 or $50 a month, the money you will get from donations is going to be massively more than the ad revenue because the ad revenue in the early days is garbage. Secondly, people support the underdog. They like supporting the underdog. Once you've accomplished something, once you have a store, once you have 6 employees, once you have 1 million subscribers, you're not the underdog anymore. People don't give a fuck about donating to you. And that's fine. When you're early on and you're using that 360p, that potato camera, when you don't have video editing software because you can't afford it, when you don't have a microscope camera because you can't afford it, people who have gotten value from your content are going to give you money. They will throw money at you. And that's what I realized before I even had a method to donate. I received more money in donations back in 2015 than what I received in 2023. People sent me DPA 4065 microphones. This microphone was $700. Gentleman, Justin from Better Biomed sent me a $600 wireless microphone system from Sennheiser's because my sound was bad. People threw money at me to improve my setup that they're not going to do now because I was just starting out. If you are providing value, the first thing that I think is important as a small content creator is to get this idea out of your head that nobody would donate or that you're a bad person for putting the button up. Put that button up and let people choose if they find your stuff to be valuable. And if people don't find it to be valuable, why do you care? Let them not click the button. Let them go and fuck off and go somewhere else. Or let them watch and just freeload. Who cares? Don't let them get in your head. I let them get into my head to the detriment of my channel for several years because I could have grown this channel a lot faster if I could have got that equipment sooner. And I don't want that to get into your head. The next thing is the actual concept of ad revenue in terms of having a good business model. Ad revenue is a shit way to promote content versus actually paying for it. I will give you an example. When I'm talking about value for value, the content that gets to it's a fucking cell phone camera, bro. Deal with it. It's a cell phone camera in a car. What do you expect? The DPA 4065? Anyway, when you're early on, when you're doing this early on in the early days, what happens? The content that people provide that think is valuable is very different from the content that goes viral. So for instance, if I make a board repair video like VCCIO versus VCore, there are hundreds of people that may learn something from that video. Hundreds of people that may learn to fix something that they otherwise would not have been able to fix, that may actually want to pay money for it. That content is not going to go viral. A video titled VCCIO versus VCore gets what, like 3,000 views after almost 10 years. You know what does go viral? A video when I had a bad morning. I had a bad morning. I have to wake up early for a long road trip. I have to travel all the way to Massachusetts. I got to pick up my car from a garage. I'm pissed off. I had an argument with my girlfriend. I didn't sleep well. So I just start yelling at a subway grate. That video of me yelling at a subway grate may be over $45,000. That content is garbage. That content is trash. Nobody's life was improved as a result of watching that video. Nobody's life was enriched. Nobody's skills were improved. Nobody increased their ability to make money or feed their families. Nothing that would have otherwise been thrown away was now recycled and working again because of that piece of trash video. And that piece of garbage made $45K. The video that I made that taught somebody how to fix a board, made their life better in some way, helped somebody else to get their data back, that video probably made $1, maybe $2. In a system where people pay for content that they find valuable, not only are you no longer at the mercy of a third party, but more importantly, in this system, the content that people are incentivized to create monetarily is content that is not trash. I like to think I'm not chasing YouTube dollar flows to the top of the algorithm. If I was, I would do the Tim Pool thing, and I would talk about how there's going to be a civil war every fucking day because, I mean, let's be real. He knows how to just, he knows what he's doing. He's good at it. You make people think that the world is ending every fucking day. There's money in it for you if you do that. I don't do that. But if the content that rises to the top right now that gets the most, that the way it works is the more clicks you get, the more money you make, regardless of whether your content is actually valuable. That incentivizes the production of extremist content, of hyperbolic content, of maybe not true, but makes people feel some way content. It doesn't encourage the production of high quality content, valuable content. What does is when people pay for what they find valuable and don't pay for what they don't find valuable. Not only do I believe in this system of creator monetization in terms of it being a good way for them to make money, I also believe in this system of creator monetization as a way to actually create better content overall. But above all, the idea that I'm talking from a privileged place because I have over 1 million subscribers. This is not going to hurt me. This is going to hurt the little guy. I couldn't disagree with you more. 99.99% of my YouTube revenue at this point is ads. In the early days, early on, it was like 20%. Most of my revenue came from donations. Most of it came from affiliate linking and other stuff. When I would tell people, hey man, I think that this is the system that you should use. This is the soldering system you should use. This is the microscope you should get. This is the highest. If you want to repeat my results, this is the stuff you should buy. Most of my revenue came from that, or from random donations, or people sending me hardware and donor boards and shit because they just like what I was doing. Revenue from the very beginning. Ad revenue is actual garbage. Your ad revenue, again, my channel, I'm just speaking for myself. My channel was, after 3 years of being on YouTube and making a lot of videos, I was making $50 a month. That's trash. That was literally not enough for me to upgrade my internet connection so that I could upload stuff faster. I was net negative because when I was doing the videos, I decided to get a better internet connection so I could upload faster, and I paid more money to upgrade my shitty Time Warner internet connection than what I was actually making on YouTube. There are two misconceptions. The first is that in the early days, that if you ask for money, if you say, listen, here's the type of content that I want to provide, here's the value I've already provided, here's what I need to provide it, that people are going to call you a beggar, a leech, or this, that, or the other, and it's going to feel bad. And because you feel bad, you are not going to want to do that anymore. And the second is that nobody is going to actually give anyway, even if you do that. Those are both wrong. People will donate to you in the beginning when you're an early content creator. And if you're creating something of value, you will make way more on the donations in the early days. If you're asking, and actually on a regular basis without shame, and showing the value you produce, you will make more off of that than you will off of the ad revenue. I guarantee you. But more importantly, the idea that it helps the larger creators more to say this. Again, as a large creator, 99.999% of my YouTube revenue, or my social media, whatever revenue, is ads. It's ads. Like telling people to use Adblock and instead support with donations, people are not going to support a guy that has subscribers, that has a business with donations, the same way they're going to support 2 weeks ago, that's working out of their house. Always open to supporting the underdog. The underdog is going to benefit from a donation plus Adblock model versus solely supporting it based on ad revenue. And I think a lot of small creators, they really screw themselves over by what they do is they think so much about what people who hate them think of them. They think to themselves, this person who thinks my content is worthless is going to make fun of me if I put up this donation box for people to give if they found it valuable. And what I would suggest to you is when you're scrolling through the comments in my Adblock video and you see people saying stuff like, you know, fuck you, you asshole, you're guilt people into giving people money if they found it valuable, screw those people. Why would you listen to somebody who thinks you're worthless? Why does the opinion of somebody who thinks you're worthless have any value to you? If somebody believes that you are worthless, do me a favor, believe them, and don't put any value into what it is they say. That's the only thing that makes sense to me regarding that. I don't put stock, I don't put value into what people who think that I'm literally worthless think. And I think a lot of early content creators do. And they live in this world where they believe, for some reason, when somebody goes to an office and types up this 2-page thing, like this 2-page document to explain why they're cool, that even has names and numbers on it of people that can vouch that they're cool, and they wear a suit, and they try to impress a boss, that there's nothing about that. There's nothing weird about that. But there's something weird about saying, hey, by the way, if you got value from what I produced, the content I already put out, here's a donation button. That's bad. Putting on a suit, going to an office with a resume and all that, that's normal. But putting up a donation box after you've already provided people with value and saying, only donate, only give me money if you have gotten something out of this in return, that's a bridge too far. Too many content creators are afraid of doing that in the early days, and I think that's what stunts them. It's not people using Adblock. I know because I look at that video I made in 2016, and I want to punch that arrogant, dumbass 26-year-old in the face. because he didn't know what he was talking about. Most of my business has been based on this value for value thing. Like in the early days, I gave away 100% of my information for free. Nothing was behind a paywall. There were no paywalls to my content. My videos didn't say, okay, here's me doing it. If you want the version that includes everything you need. Every piece of information on how to replicate my business was made available to everybody for free. And it was always free. With repair.wiki right now, I have all the information on how to fix all the boards I work on. Every piece of information inside the heads of my technicians that took them years to learn, I've made available for free. And I realize that there are a lot of people out there, there's tons of them, that are going to freeload. There are a lot of people that are going to read the information that I provided on that wiki, and they're never going to give back. To be clear, when I say give back, I don't mean give back to me or the wiki. I mean just give back to anybody. There are a lot of people in our business that believe that if you show somebody how to fix something, that you are now going to go broke. You're going to go bankrupt because you showed somebody else, and somebody else now has the ability to do what you do. I hate that model, but I realize that for every one person that reads my information on my wiki or watches my videos and learns it, that there's probably going to be 10 or 20 people that say, I'm going to learn how to do this repair from this information. Fuck you, got mine. I'm never sharing information again. I understand that. I get it. But I don't live my life based on the fact that there are freeloaders out there. I try to live my life based on the fact that I know there are people out there that are actually going to give back, that are going to show other people how to fix somebody showed them. And I try to avoid living my life based on the fact that there are freeloaders. There are always going to be freeloaders. There are always going to be tax cheats. There are always going to be people that take more than they give. The thing is, if you are providing genuine value, put some faith and stock into the fact that there are people out there that will provide you with value in return. That's my thought there. Anyway, that's my rant. That's pretty much my rant. Somebody is complaining about sound. I feel like I'm in Irvine, California, Brad Haynes. I really do. Yeah, I think there's a big misconception that when people say use Adblock, that what we're doing is we're advocating for not providing value to people who provided value to you. And that's just very far away from my mentality. That's very far away from what I suggest. And again, the people that really do refuse to provide value to those that provided value to them, I know that exists. I really do. I know there are people that don't pay it back or forward, and I've met a lot of them over the course of my life. I just try to avoid making my business decisions based on the fact that shitty people exist in a shitty world. And again, I really do think that the content that exists right now would be massively, massively better if people were paying for content they found valuable out of their own wallet rather than through watching ads. Maybe we would not have the shit that we have right now. Maybe we would not have, like fucking great videos that go viral that make money. Imagine the type of content that creators would make. I just want you to imagine the type of content they would make if content that paid them was actually content that was valuable to people rather than just clickbait. I'm gonna end the evening with that. I got a date with a friend. No, not your romantic date, but anyway, you get the idea. I'll see you all later. And enjoy the rest of your evening.